It is, arguably, a viable strategy. However, it is not the only trait that enabled them to survive in the hostile environment they created for themselves. Their cruelty is what made them notable and infamous. Wherever they go, they take what they want, and they want everything.
I know a kind that fits this description. Not the Argonians this time. Joe, do you know who I am referring to?
Yeah, you couldn't stop talking about them last time I was here.
Who are you talking about?
Have you heard of the High Elves?
The High Elves?
Joe, I would be cautious. The last time an N'wah said, "Have you heard of the High Elves?" it ended up dying on a poisoned apple.
Seriously?
Yes. A thick Imperial dog used to rant about the Altmer on a daily basis until its lifeless hunk of meat hit the ground harder than bar dow.
Wow, man, that sounds...
And of course, it is also worth to mention that because of the rants, in the most peculiar fashion, no Imperial company was willing to give it a real job, so its only chance was to join the local garrison and work as a guard for an utterly ridiculous wage.
So he didn't...
And by the way, that's literally bottom-of-the-barrel category. You might be better off working in some kitchen frying kwama eggs for your superiors.
What is frying kwama eggs?
Kwama eggs.
Kwama eggs.
No, kwama eggs.
Kwama eggs.
Exactly. The Kwama Counselor is a trash food chain present in 6 locations around Morrowind, with the company motto being, "The topping is saliva. Have a nice meal, and
That sounds disgusting.
They prepare the most repulsive slop that I have ever experienced locally.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting.
They are disgusting.
All right, and what are fried kwama eggs?
You don't know what fried food is?
No, it's like, how do you fry them?
I don't.
Okay, but
Do I look like a cook to you?
Wait, no, that's not
I'm a god. I am the one who orders. Just put the fries in the bag, Enva. Oh, and my Dunmer girlfriend asked for no creshweed on her McDagoth.
Isn't it?
I'm sure you pray a lot to the favorable spirits of your world and cherish them for granting you the fortune that you don't have to work in a place like the Kwama Counselor or Necro's Pizza.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I have heard many customers don't understand that there is no bone in the boneless pizza.
Boneless pizza?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
They simply cannot comprehend the fact that it's boneless.
Oh, but what if it's not boneless?
No.
Is there an option for bones?
No, there's no such thing. Pizza got no bones to begin with.
Yeah, I know that.
Why did you bother to ask then?
I don't even know why I followed up on this shit. After you told me that the Imperial dude died because of some poison, I wanted to ask more about the case.
And what do you want to know?
What happened to the guard?
It died.
Oh, come on, man.
What?
I want to...
Don't say a word. I know. You want me to be more specific.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, it just so happened that only 2 weeks after joining the garrison, they found the N'wah dead in a tavern, laying on the ground with some apple pieces in its mouth.
And you said that the apple was poisoned.
Yes, the apple pieces were in its mouth. They said
but that doesn't mean the apple was poisoned.
Look, the details
There's poison that needs time to take effect, you know? So it might seem the apple was poisoned, but it could have been something else. For example,
Joe,
I've seen a movie
you
where...
must close shut the jaws of your oblivion and listen. I am going to be truly specific now.
All right, you can go on.
The apple was poisoned because during the trials, a slice of it was fed to a horse that died almost immediately after swallowing the first piece.
Oh, I see.
The locals also said that after the first bite, the guard started to make strange noises before it jumped up from its chair and collapsed mid-air.
He collapsed in the air?
Exactly. The poison was both fast and effective. The body was still warm when the others arrived, so they immediately began to search the area for the killer who, to no one's surprise, has never been caught ever since.
But why did they kill him? Was he some kind of an informant? A whistleblower?
No, I highly doubt that. As someone who has studied the Imperials for many centuries, I am willing to bet a considerable amount of soul gems on what the guard was blowing, and none of my guesses will include a whistle.
Well, if I had to bet, I would say that he made someone very upset. He must have done something that got him poisoned, because people don't just get assassinated out of the blue, you know.
You are not wrong. Talking about the Altmer and their trickery requires a strong and willful heart, but I am confident that the babbling of the guard was nearly insignificant. I don't care about it. Do you care?
Yeah, I kinda do. I mean, that's why I asked you.
All right, then.
We
I
don't
must.
even know who did it because they never caught the killer.
In the unconscious part of our minds, we all know who did it.
No, I have no idea, at all. And by the way, you always talk about them, and yet you're still here, alive.
Once again, I will tell you that discussing the treacherous ways of the Altmer takes more than one would think. It is a dangerous business.
If you insist that avoiding this matter is advisable, I recommend that we move on to...
No, Mr. Spock, it is not advisable. As a matter of fact, spreading awareness of the Altmer and their crimes is of the utmost importance. They seriously believe that they are superior compared to me, to a god. Can you imagine that? How can they be so naive?
Are the words Altmer and High Elf interchangeable?
What's interchangeable?
Do they refer to the same species?
Oh, yes, they do, but I prefer to use the Altmer because it's the product of a more sophisticated civilization. My civilization.
And what can you tell me about them?
A lot. But to my huge disappointment, we don't have 10 hours, so I will be brief this time.
Of course. I expect you to remain brief and reasonable.
You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Spock. One of my titles has reasonable in it.
Fascinating.
I know. I find myself fascinating too.
Oh, come on.
But let's get back to the Altmer. We will have plenty of time to talk about me very soon.
First, I would prefer to learn about their physical properties, a description of
Yes,
their...
of course. The Altmer are quite tall and have a skin tone which is similar to yours. They refer to it as a golden light skin complexion, but I would rather call it piss in different shades.
A skin complexion?
Exactly. They also have pointy ears, like you, and oddly long faces, like yours, but unlike you, they think that they are better than a god. Can you believe that?
Are you suggesting that they are infamous for their supremacist tendencies?
Not just that. The Altmeri is a criminal tribe. They are murderers, warmongers, assassins, and thieves. During the Great War, their raiders killed whoever they could lay their hands on. They played the Red Guards against the Imperials, so a war would break out between them. And last but not least, they did the Oblivion Crisis by assassinating Uriel Septim VII and stealing the Amulet of Kings.
Yeah,
I might also want to add that nothing of value was lost there, but still, it was done by the Altmer.
Tell me, are these claims based on direct or circumstantial evidence?
Evidence? No, Mr. Spock. They are based on my perception of the realms that exist here and beyond. Azura granted me visions. I have seen them in my mind.
Man, you should really cut the crap and get to the point.
Do you want to hear more about the Altmer and their criminal enterprise?
No, that's not what we were talking about.
I know, Joe, but look, I find crime statistics captivating too. However, we can't keep talking about them all day long because the show must go on.
Okay, but there's no way to tell who poisoned that guard.
You are wrong. They saw the Enba who gave him the apple. The tavern was full.
Isn't it possible that the person who gave it to the guard didn't know that the apple was poisoned? Because it's like, why would you poison someone in an open public space in front of so many people?
What do you mean?
You said the tavern was full, so they saw the guy who did it.
Yes, and the magistrate of the Order of Health and Potions was assassinated in the busiest part of town just a few days after he dared to refuse to sign some health benefit papers for the Thalmor.
Wait a second.
Now everyone is talking about the N'wah who did it, but not why it happened.
There's no way.
You know, cause and effect.
Yeah, okay, but there is no way that you can make a connection between them and the poisoning.
We all know that I can.
All right, look, let's say this dude was up to no good, okay?
Of course.
Maybe he was conspiring with the other guards against the Emperor or something.
Definitely not. Only a fool would suggest that the guards were conspiring against anyone.
But why?
Because they lack the ability to organize themselves. They are utterly incapable of doing anything.
So they don't do shit.
They don't. Long-term planning and strategy play a very important role in being successful and prosperous. There is a reason why the Empire is collapsing in front of our very eyes.
Yes, and that's why he got poisoned. When the Imperials found out that some people were up to no good, the guards captured a few perpetrators, and during the questioning, they just simply blamed him for everything.
But I've already
And
said...
by the way, being stupid doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be the part of a bigger, more complex plan.
Did you just call me stupid?
No, you don't have to take it literally. It's
Joe, I'm not deaf. You've said that despite me being stupid, I can still be the part of a more complex plan.
I meant to say that even if you were stupid, you would still be able to take part in bigger things, like in a conspiracy
but that's not what you have said. And we all know that I am not stupid.
Yeah, whatever. To me, it still seems that you just want to blame them for everything.
Joe, birth rates don't just suddenly collapse by themselves.
What birth rates?
After signing the White Gold Concordat, the Imperial birth rates were stagnating for a few decades, and then, all of a sudden, the birth rates fell by almost 60%.
Man, I really don't see how it's connected to
And a new movement was born promoting the use of alteration magic to change the physical properties of young Imperials. Those frail N'wahs argue that by changing their looks, they can change what they are.
And the High Elves were behind that too.
Exactly. They create and popularize fake movements like the Orc Rights Matter movement, while the useful organizations such as the Banish the Reptilians from Cyrodiil movement stay in the shadows.
So it's more like a decision-related thing, right? They don't force them to join.
No, they make their fake movements seem popular in the eyes of the youth.
Which means that they're free to choose what movement they join.
Yes, it is a truly diabolical system.
I mean, as long as they don't do anything stupid, they can do whatever they want.
Well, while I would not disagree with that to a certain degree, I do, because the Altmer have started multiple...
Why would you criticize small groups like the LGBTQ movement, as long as its members don't cause any trouble?
Joe,
Especially if you have nothing to do with them at all. You can just ignore them.
Joe, I have never criticized the LGBTQ movement.
But it's not just about that movement.
In fact, I have unshakable faith in the Let's Go Beat the Thalmor Quickly movement.
Beat the Thalmor?
Exactly. I was thinking about supporting them financially too, but I am not going to.
I was not talking about that LGBTQ movement.
I don't know any other movement with a title like that which worth mentioning here. Mr. Spock, you became quite silent. Do you have anything to add before we move on?
I feel that letting you argue over inconsequential topics is way more entertaining for the viewers than me giving you lectures based on evidence and systematic analysis. But now that you have asked, let me address the birth rate issue.
Of course. Let's address an issue created by the Altmer.
Historical data suggests that birth rates are affected by multiple factors from geopolitics to natural phenomena that, in some cases, cannot be measured or explained. In the case of the Empire, you have talked about the signing of the White Gold Concordat.
Yes, the Imperial dogs lost the war and had to agree to terms which favored the Altmer.
Which means that the conflict escalated into a great war between the two sides with mounting casualties.
Exactly.
In the case of advanced or more advanced life forms, data gathered during historical analysis shows that the population grows during the years of rebuilding, while the contrary is in effect when high levels of prosperity can be observed.
Did you seriously refer to the Imperials as an advanced life form? We must talk about this later.
In other words, after many years of suffering, the importance of family and close community is increased, while the desire for glamour and material goods is reduced.
Which means that their view of the world changes.
Precisely.
All right then, Mr. Spock. Tell me more about what changes their worldview during the years of prosperity.
There are many factors that might affect the way life forms.
Who are spreading the leaflets promoting glamour and material goods in the cities and towns?
The question is...
Who owns most of the papers in Cyrodiil and Hyrock that spread anti-social propaganda?
I do not.
Who might be the one financing the production and promotion of such material, Mr. Spock?
I do not have any information on this specific subject.
Curious. I expected your historical analysis to reveal some interesting details for us.
Analyzing past historical data can indeed reveal fascinating details regarding how propaganda was directed, manufactured, and then distributed. But in the case of the Altmer, there is no information in my memory banks that could tell me how their schemes work or worked. And you have also mentioned the Thalmor, which is, based on my calculations, closely related to the Altmer.
Your calculations are not wrong, Mr. Spock. Based on the official statement, the Thalmor is a so-called Altmeri governmental organization, and it is also a general term for the members and paramilitary enforcers of the establishment. However, there is one very serious problem with this explanation. There is no such thing as an Altmeri government. Alinor is not a real country. They have no culture, no customs, no well-established borders. Their Daedra worship is the only
Wait,
common.
you talked about this when we called that guy on Skype.
Why did you interrupt me?
The last time I was here, you called an elf who worked for them back in the day. He got very upset because you mocked their country.
You are referring to the Skype call with Selvin Sunsilk.
Yeah.
I still have him on my contact list.
That Sunsilk guy was so angry he was literally shouting with you for 5 minutes.
I mean, what else would you expect from an Altmer?
And you also called him a mud crab.
A mud crab?
Yes, he hates mud crabs.
That does not sound too respectful. Or diplomatic.
No, of course not. No Thalmor should ever be treated with respect. They are a shadowy cabal that oppresses the neighboring tribes, dedicated to Altmeri supremacy and the pacification and purification of all of Tamriel.
Yeah, we know that
You cannot possibly imagine the complex feelings I had when I heard about their plan for the first time. The scorching disdain in the heart made Dagoth Ur erupt countless times in the past.
I suspect that your disdain of their oppressive system might be the part of a greater character development process.
Well, while I would not abandon the idea of an oppressive totalitarian system run by me, a god, I must also confess I have always said that opposing the Thalmor is a matter of personal hygiene.
Yeah, we get it. You hate them. But there is a problem
Joe, I would rather say...
No, wait a second. At this point, even you have to see the real problem here is that you can't show us any evidence. You have no proof that they were involved in those conspiracies.
In what conspiracies exactly?
In literally any of them.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, because you just keep bringing up stuff that cannot be explained properly and then try to find a way to blame everything on the elves.
Would you seriously try to convince anyone that the anti-social propaganda in the mainstream Altmer-dominated papers that are owned by the Altmer, written by the Altmer, and promoted by the Altmer, has nothing to do with the Altmer?
Yes, because not all of them are taking part in doing those things. It's only a few.
Not every single one of them is taking part in the scheme. Of course! The same way as not all Altmeri are Thalmor, however, they always forget to add that all Thalmor are Altmeri.
No, I think it's more like just a few writers being mean.
A few writers being mean?
Yeah, man.
That is your explanation.
I guess. I mean, why would I look for connections that don't exist?
Joe,
I think I've already said that seeking patterns and relations between everything is not a healthy thing to do. Like, seriously not healthy.
All right. What if I told you that the Altmer were spying on the Imperials by creating a hiding place in the walls of a very important Imperial building?
Like inside the walls?
Exactly.
So the elves were in the walls?
Yes. Believe it or not, during the renovation of an Imperial governmental building in a dirty, skooma-infested town called Braville, the Elves discovered a small space behind the northern wall which was not supposed to be there. Venturing inside the narrow hiding place, they stumbled upon a tunnel system leading to the remains of a remarkably large eyelid settlement, which is, even today, underneath the town.
Wow.
Strangely, when the captain of the local garrison heard about the tunnel system, instead of investigating the scene, it immediately ordered the dogs to seal every entrance they could find.
Really? I think they were...
And I haven't finished yet.
Oh, all right.
At this point, one might say that all hope of finding out what happened there was lost. However, thanks to the seemingly endless and pointless gossip of the locals, every minor thing that happened around the town became common knowledge, including the story that tells us how numerous groups of Thalmor agents used to visit a nearby mine before the discovery.
So they saw
Furthermore, based on a transcript of an old journal, I can state it with great certainty that the mine is connected to the ruined settlement by a cave system.
Okay, but that doesn't mean the elves were inside the walls. Maybe they were hunting gremlins or raiding the dungeons
There were no gremlins under the town. And thanks to a treasure hunter who managed to get inside the tunnels, we know exactly what they were doing there.
Did the treasure hunter see them?
No. He found the notes the Thalmor took about some very important negotiations inside the governmental building.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
Man, imagine all those schizophrenic motherfuckers jumping up and down with joy that they were right.
And they also invaded Elsweyr. Do you even know about that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Elsweyr?
Yes.
What an outstandingly odd name.
It's a colossal skooma den with cat creatures and sand. If I were you, I would rather ask more about my place instead. It's a way more interesting topic.
I see. If my calculations are to be correct, the name Dagoth Ur is derived from the...
Wait, you haven't told us what happened there. Why did the elves invade them?
It must be very important for you to know if you had to interrupt Mr. Spock.
I mean, you brought it up.
I know.
So, what happened there?
After an internal conflict in Elsweyr, the Altmer invaded most of their coastal regions to create a so-called buffer zone as a precaution, despite the fact that there is a natural barrier between them, which is a literal ocean.
Which means that the High Elves hold the coast?
Not just the coast. They didn't stop there. The so-called safe zone now covers 1/3 of the country. And what's more interesting is that the new leadership in Elsweyr stated that the Altmer are not the enemy.
Seriously?
Yes. They pointed their fingers at the Imperials, saying that the Imperial Legion's war on moonsugar destroyed their future.
What is the war on moonsugar?
The Imperials deployed a few legionnaires to Elsweyr with the task of looking for special moonsugar-creating devices that never existed.
And what happened?
They didn't find them.
Because they never existed?
You figured it out. Wow.
Okay, so what do other people think about the invasion?
About the Altmeri invasion of Elsweyr?
Yeah.
They write silly jokes about it.
Really?
Exactly. I still remember an Imperial poet writing, "You should stop saying free Elsweyr. No wonder the elves are so interested in it."
Oh, because it's free.
And there was also a Dunmer writer who got, well, slightly intoxicated, and for almost an entire night he was running around the slave market in Tel Arun, punching visitors in the face while repeating the same line over and over again. "Tie me to a dragon and send me to the Somerset Isles. I am ready."
Damn, man.
Are you suggesting that the public does not take offensive actions seriously?
Mr. Spock, it's good to hear your voice again, and you are not wrong. I believe that the public should pay more attention to the world that surrounds it. Politics is supposed to be a serious business, as it discusses things that can make or break the lives of millions. But what do we see when the Nords and Imperials joke about politics? They are essentially saying, "This doesn't concern me. All that I care about is being entertained." For them, a new threat is nothing but another opportunity for laughter. Uh-oh, we might actually all die this time. Ha ha ha. Their own well-being literally holds no value to them. And this is exactly why the Thalmor has been constantly winning for so long, to the point the Ephem, or outsiders, no longer even exist on the political spectrum, if not as the personal armies of fools or foreign assets, like Ulfric Stormcloak.
He's an asset?
Yes, and now you can also rightfully ask, but Dagoth, how is it possible? Are the Altmer Supermer or something? And my answer to that is no. It's because the Thalmor take their enemies seriously. As a matter of fact, they are dead serious about taking care of them. For the Thalmor, an Ephem is not just a pitiful caricature of a mentally ill thing, like an orc or a mud crab. Oh, no. It's a living and breathing entity that is irredeemably evil and must be destroyed at all costs.
So the elves...
Now you can see it is not a coincidence that the only ones who ever get punished for the so-called hate speech are the Ephem. They are getting censored, fired, debunked, assaulted, jailed, and killed for being hateful, only as long as their critical words are directed at the Altmer or their dogs. Therefore, the Nords and Imperials have to be the butt of the joke every single time, even when they are the ones joking. And finally, you might also understand that unlike those who hate them and try to destroy them, the Ephem resort to jokes only because they cannot be serious, without being the target of heavy repercussions.
Have you tried to find a common ground with the Altmer? I am certain that you could reach an agreement.
That
on
is
at
not
least
possible.
one.
There cannot be a common ground with the Altmer, because this option does not exist. In fact, it never even crossed my mind, not even in my wildest dreams, and I do not lack the creative vision. Believe me.
Fascinating. Based on my observations of the information you've shared with us about the Altmer, I cannot find a logical explanation for your disdain.
It is entirely possible that your observations misled you, Mr. Spock. I can tell you more about the Altmer, but I expect you to pay more attention to the details.
While I find your enthusiasm exceptional, I must also share with you the factual truth that I paid attention to your detailed descriptions, which did not incorporate sufficient direct or circumstantial evidence, nor did they cover personal experiences, which would provide us hints in connection with the cause of your disdain of the Altmer, and therefore I find it completely unreasonable. What you provided us
Are you
is...
telling me that on one day, for no reason at all, the Elves joined Pellinol Whitestrake?
Who is Pellinol Whitestrake?
Wait a second. Have you ever talked to an Altmer before?
I have previously expressed that I am not familiar with the Altmer. I have never had the opportunity to meet with their representatives.
All right, Mr. Spock, you better not to miss this opportunity. Jamie, pull up Skype. I've logged into my account. Just don't look at the chat. Wait, I see that everything is loading very slowly. You can pause the downloading of that audio. Just bring up the Downloads tab.
Are you downloading something big?
Yes. Before we began, I started the downloading of 16 hours of mayonnaise slapping noises in high quality to confuse my Penitus Oculatus agents.
What agents?
My Penitus Oculatus agents. They monitor my activity on the internet, and when the downloading is finished, they will have to listen to 16 hours of mayonnaise slapping noises.
Man, if I were them, I would quit my job.